A few days ago, I stumbled upon a YouTube video by a Scandinavian woman called Jenny Mustard. She's Swedish to be more precise, and in the video, she's talking about why she does not want to have kids. Now, as a 32-year-old Indian woman who's been living with her partner, a man, for the past three and a half years, I get asked a lot about why I haven't had a child yet, or if I'm planning to have one in the near future, and so on. Now, what I find more amusing than the questions are the unsolicited advice that come my way. Things like, you should have at least one biological child. You should have a child so that there is someone to take care of you when you get old. And the suggestions are many, trust me. So before I talk about why I have consciously chosen not to have kids, I want to make a few things clear. One is that I have absolutely nothing against children. And the second thing is that I have absolutely nothing against couples who are having children. In fact, I've had so many of my friends who've had babies in the recent past, who are planning to have children, and I have even suggested names to a lot of babies. So this is just about why, as an individual, I don't want to have a kid. You see, the first thing is population explosion. I mean, I don't want to bring another human being to this already overcrowded planet. And as a person who loves wildlife, I always keep thinking about, if we humans keep breeding at such a high rate, where will the other forms of life go? And let's just also ask ourselves why the pandemics are happening. Okay, that's for another day, and there are experts to talk about it anyway. So yes, I really don't want to bring another human being who will never have a say in whether or not it wanted to come to this already crowded planet where the resources are dwindling as we speak. And it's 2022. Let's talk about more pressing things: climate change, water, soil, and all other resources that not just humans but also all forms of life need to simply exist. So the second thing is the factor of selfishness. So you see, I want to travel the world on a whim sometimes. I mean, if I want to go to Paris tomorrow, I just want to be able to pack my bags and just take a flight and leave, all right? And if that is selfish, and wanting to read wherever you want to read is being selfish, or wanting to watch a great movie whenever you want to watch a movie is being selfish, then how is any reason worse than the other? I mean, if we are not judging people for wanting to make babies so that there is someone to take care of them when they're old, then we should also not be judged or called selfish for wanting to just travel the world, or wanting to just read every single evening or morning and wanting to watch a film every other day. So let's just not be judgmental. We all have our priorities. Also, I think I've got this one sorted. When I'm old, and if I'm still alive, and I want or need someone to take care of me, I would rather hire help to do that. I mean, why not find a kid who is trying very hard to fund his or her higher studies and help them with their education, and ask them if they are willing to take care of you in return. Again, ask. Do babies stand a chance? Are they asked if they want to be born at all? Anyway, so yeah, I myself have struggled to fund my own higher studies, and I never got to do it. So I think there will be good people out there when I'm old who will be willing to help me take care of myself, or just help by taking care of me in return for something they need. So that is sorted. And now let's talk about sex. Yes, let's talk about sex. Oh, please, let's talk about sex. If you are so comfortable talking about babies, let's talk about the process that is needed to make babies. I mean, in a country where just the very mentioning of the word sex is still frowned upon, and it's a word that still makes some of us uncomfortable, even in 2022. But then again, we are so quick to ask a couple who's been married for a while why they haven't had a child. So yeah, let's talk more about sex. Let's talk about orgasms. Let's talk about female orgasm. I think that should be a whole new video by itself for another day. Yeah, how is it that people just assume that a couple lives together just to have sex and make babies? Like, aren't there any other reasons why two people should live together? And how is it that we don't even talk about sexual health? There is no talk about sex education. People don't even talk about sex in so many households even today, and they just push their kids into marriage. I mean, I cannot think of a worse disservice than this. You have had a particular way of life, and that doesn't mean in this age your children need to have a certain way of life. Something worked for you, that doesn't mean the same thing will work for another person. And if something makes you happy, doesn't mean the same thing will make some other person happy. So I think this is something very humbling. We all have our own ways of feeding our soul, our mind, our heart. So there is no one particular way. I feel like most of you who are watching this video are liberal in the ways you think, and so I could be just preaching the converted. But let's do talk about these things, not in anger or resentment, but in the context of having human, heartfelt, sincere, open-minded conversations, especially when those unsolicited advice, suggestions come your way, especially when those inappropriate, nosy, perversely curious questions come your way. Also, having a baby is not just about birthing one, right? I mean, it takes at least 20 years to make that human being someone who can take care of themselves. I mean, most of us come with so much emotional baggage ourselves, and I really want to talk about this honestly, because so many of us have had tough childhoods, recovering from childhood trauma even today. And when we ourselves are trying to stand our ground strong and trying to have that very strong, assured, reassured sense of individuality, how is it that we think we are just, prepared to bring another human being and taking care of them? So we should probably be a little more humble and not hasty, and making babies or thinking about making babies without sorting our own minds and hearts, I think is just unfortunate. So these are some of the things that I wanted to talk about, and I know for a fact that you would not want to agree with all the things that I just shared, and that's fine. Let's agree to disagree, but let's not impose our ideas, our notions on each other, and that is all I have to ask at the end of this video. So child or no child, it's about leading a meaningful, happy life. So let's all be happy. Child or no child. That's it for today. Thank you for listening to my rant, and I will come back with one more very soon. Until then, take care. Ta-ta. Bye.